So this is the kind of stuff that we want all students to be able to do. And Ms. K threw this at us, and she said, okay, there's this program, you're going to download it, and you're going to create an animation. Come up and tell me what your idea is for your animation, and I'm not giving you any help past helping you decide what it was. And so, rather than being a teacher-led class like we have, and I know so many of you have had throughout years, Gen Yes is making technology so that students can use it and develop it for themselves in the future. It's not just a class where a teacher gives you rote memorization of facts, like we're so used to in social studies and all that. We're using things like educational gaming, we're developing media, we're working with kids to create movies and other digital things in order for them to be able to go out and find a technology like this and do something cool.
It's mainly about working with teachers. So it's students helping teachers out if they have any questions about opening up a new tab or making a PowerPoint presentation like this. And some teachers, we have a thing called the telepresence in our library, and it's that machine right there. And it's basically gives you the ability to have video conferences and with teachers from, I think that teacher was from North Canyon High School, which is another high school in our district. But you can have conversations with people in Singapore, or you can talk to the NASA space station, all through this telepresence powered by Cisco.
This was his project, and there were these new glasses that just record what you're seeing. You can print them out to their own printer. And the reason why we did this project was to find new technology, and just so we know that companies are coming out with new technology, and how we can implement some of these in the classroom.
Learn something new. And so basically what we did, we took iPods and we tried to find specific applications where we could put it in the classroom and allow the students to almost help themselves learn, basically. Instead of the teacher saying, okay, here's your information, here's the homework, have that, We only had one Shawnee teacher at Cheyenne, and came to him. I've actually gone through this class, and it was more very worksheet oriented, very regimented, if you will. And so I tried to make it more interactive for the students, because the stars are way out there, and you can't really play the stars in your hand. So I tried to make it where the students could bring it to right here, where where they could touch it, move it around, actually see it, feel it. So this is kind of 3D magic. You can move around.
The most important thing that I think of Gen Yes is finding technology for students and learning how to make things better in the school. So this was a really good program, and it's kind of cool because clubs can come in during announcements and do it live, and can talk about Spirit Weeks or whatever is happening, and it gets everyone involved in school. And you can put banners on it, you can do different transitions, like right now, see it's a smooth transition. Gen Yes was assigned, each student was assigned a different classroom or section of classes, so social studies building. And we had to go into the teachers' classrooms and basically just set it up. So
While some of us were doing Blender just a few months ago, the other half of the class was experimenting with the hardware of computers. And I know Matt was in the hardware group, and some other students who aren't here. But what they did is they were just opening up our computers, both Mac and PC, and they were just looking inside, seeing how they work. Gaming, too, is a big part of Gen Yes, where we were beta testing this biology game called Immune Attack.
So look, I found this. Are you interested?
I came to him and said, hey, look, this is what I have. Are you interested? He said, yes. And I said, okay, how can I incorporate it in your class? And like I said, I've taken his class, so I kind of knew the basis of what he was going to teach on.
Sure.
And so I created a rough outline, if you will, of what he could use. And he kind of took that and twisted it into his own way and made it his own.
So most of the time you're having to take your concepts and present them.
For those bigger lessons, a lot of the times we are going out there and we're asking teachers or getting them involved in saying, this is what we have, this is the technology we have available. How can we incorporate it into your classroom? How can you use the Wirecast thing? One of the ideas that we had for what we could use Wirecast for, that recording station that we're set up, because that's a big part of what Wirecast is say, if a teacher knows they're going to be gone for some reason, they can record a lecture and they can play it in the classroom so that kids can interact with them as well. So we we have this technology available, how can you use it? Because a lot of the time teachers, and I think this is a big problem, that teachers, for the past 5 years, they've been teaching exactly the same lesson plans. So we need technology to update those lesson plans. And that's what we've been doing. We've been going and saying, Ms. K says, we have these iPods. Everybody in this class is going to get a lesson for them and say, go to teachers and say, what can you use these for? How can you use them to help students read, or help their grammar, help them in math, graph some equations, do some science, use the periodic table. All those things are things that each of these students need to do in their classroom, and all those things can be made better with mobile computing or laptops, with educational games that we've seen. All that stuff is stuff that helps us get kids interactive, get kids involved.
And as an example to that, this is actually one of the iPods that the school gave us. And I was doing Shakespeare. I've always hated Shakespeare. But in English, we're doing Shakespeare. Kind of the old language I didn't really understand, so there's an app for that. There's that for everything. So I downloaded No Fear Shakespeare, and it kind of translated everything at the palm of my fingers. So in class, I said, okay, going through the stuff, trying to process it, but I couldn't. So I'm like, okay, Pop, oh, that's what he meant, okay. I was able to use it in study school. That I did on my own, but I brought it to my teacher, and she said, yeah, that's great. We got a cart of iPods, let's do it. So I downloaded it, and there you go, good to go. And stuff like that. So the teacher kind of goes both ways. The teacher can come to us and say, can you do this? Or we can go to them and say, can you use this? So I don't know if that answers your
Yeah, so the majority of the time you're presenting the ideas to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
In most schools, you get in trouble.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're trying to change that, so.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's what this conference